प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Om. We'll do the regular stuff. विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात्करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भो निधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाच्छिद्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकर्णद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभाति एतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलान् बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता वृषं वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहाव्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशो मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिष्वपि जागृदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जाग्रति वा य एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भांस्यनलो नीलोऽम्बरम् अहर्नाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभोः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः. इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्ये तत्पुनरष्टधा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम्. The Dakshinamurti Stotram. Today, as we are doing Shri Ram Chandra Prabhu Mahima, we won't be chanting Gita Dhyanam. We'll chant the section from Vishnu Sahasranama. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Rameti Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram. Let's see Ramchandra Mahima. Some instances from Mahabharata, from Ramayana, what we can learn from those incidents. The learning is not just academic, it will work only if it contributes to transforming me, the person. If it's mere academic, well, it's academic. It doesn't help much. It's like one more information stored in some corner. It's a scholarship, nothing more than that. But it should change. It should bring about transformation. That's number one. We should also relate Ramavatar to chapter 10 and 11 of Bhagavad Gita. We see where is the connection. We will see all this with the blessings of my Guru, Shri Ramchandra Prabhu. We try understanding this subject. Shri Rama, the first of 4 sons, was born to Dasharatha in the Treta Yuga. So first thing we should know is what is this Yuga and how time is calculated. So Yuga is a timeline, a Vedic timeline which is indicated. It says 360 human years make one Divya Varsha. Okay, divine year. 1200 divine years make Satya Yuga. 2400 divine years make Treta Yuga. 3600 Divya Varsha make Dwapara Yuga. 4800 Divya Varshas make Kali Yuga. So add them 1200 plus 2400 plus 3600 plus 4800. 12,000 Divya Varsha make one Chatur Yuga. Among the Chatur Yugas, 71 Chatur Yugas make one Manvantara. Okay, and a number of Manvantaras make one Kalpa. One Kalpa is equal to 1 day of Brahma. Similarly, so many Manvantaras make one night of Brahma. And like that, Brahma lived for 100 Divya Varsha. And we are in the 51st year of Brahmaji. Okay, the Chaturmukha Brahma's life. How do you know? It is in 2 halves. Prathama Parardhe, Dvitiya Parardhe. So when you are doing that Sankalpa, you will say, Dvitiya Parardhe. That means you are in the second half of Brahma's life. So that's a time scale, mind-boggling figure you can work out on paper, on your computers and see. So Treta Yuga was before Dwapara Yuga, and in Treta Yuga it is supposed to have happened. And after every Yuga, there is a Pralaya. Okay, in that Pralaya, the Pralaya can be what is called a Jala Pralaya. It can be, a Bhumi Pralaya. It can be a Jala Pralaya. It can be a Vayu Pralaya. It can be an Agni Pralaya. So Bhumi Pralaya means everything gets buried. Jala Pralaya, everything gets over flooded. Agni Pralaya, everything is burnt. Vayu Pralaya, everything is blown up. And when at the end of the Yuga, the whole Srishti is absorbed back into creation. And after a lull, okay, it is called Laya, Pralaya. After the Laya, it comes back, Srishti. So imagine in Treta Yuga, the whole Ayodhya and things like that would have gone into Pralaya, would have gone into the unmanifest, and they have come back into the Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, do you think it will be exactly available as it was available in Treta Yuga? Okay. Archaeological findings say that there has been something available. But for you and me, Vaidika Parampara people, it does not matter where Rama was born. Rama is an inspirational hero for me. I would like to consecrate him in a place which, according to the Itihas, it was born, where he was born. I would like to consecrate the Vigraha, invoke Rama there and pray to him. We'll come to that in due course. So I'm going to not talk about the archaeological finding and all these things at all. Doesn't matter. At least was Vedanta students. We are going to take certain incidents from Shri Rama's life. I wouldn't like to ever refer to him as Rama. I'll always refer to him as Shri Ram Chandra Prabhu. We will take him. Why is he a hero for me? We'll look at that. Shri Rama, the eldest of 4 sons. Dasharatha had 3 wives, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Ram was born to Kaushalya, so he was called Koshala Rama. Bharata was born to Kaikeyi, and Lakshman and Shatrughan were born to Sumitra. And they were born. What was the kingdom? The kingdom is called Koshala, and the capital is Ayodhya. Ayodhya means where there is no conflict. And Sri Ramachandra was supposed to be crowned Yuvaraja. Just a few days before his Yuvaraja, perhaps one day before his crowning, he was summoned by his mother, Kaikeyi. So we call it stepmother, but we don't have stepmother. She's mother. He always addressed her as mother, Mate. In fact, he was said to be closer to Kaikeyi than to Kausalya. So he was summoned by Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi told him, "Your father had given me a boon, and according to that boon, you are supposed to go in exile for 14 years, into exile for 14 years, and in your place, Bharata will be crowned king." What was Ram's response? Mata, you don't even have to say father's name. You don't have to say father told me. You can simply say it is my order and I will obey implicitly. People who are into particularly the dance form, Rama is always integrated, straightest, correctest of lines, dharma. So the word of the Mata is considered good enough for obedience. And he says, I am prepared to go. Not only did he say, I'm prepared to go, he made arrangements to go. He divested himself all his royal clothes. And when he was getting ready, his wife Sita said, what's going on? He said, I have been asked to go on an exile for about 14 years. I am proceeding. She says, I am Sita. Sita has no existence minus Rama. So I move with you. So Sita, Rama ready in clothes of a commoner. Then among the 4 brothers, Lakshmana comes and says, I can't let the prince of this land and the queen and the crown prince and his consort to go without security. So I will accompany as long. And he also was ready. Now we look at Lakshmana's wife, Urmila. She said, as my husband is going and living in the forest along with his brothers, my lifestyle will not be in the palace. I will adopt a lifestyle which will have the same struggle as my husband's life. So, what does it say? Cut, I am bringing it down to history much later, which happened in the 16th century. There were also four brothers. The first brother was brought up to be a very obedient son. But then the fourth of the brother, one of the brothers decided no. So there was a conflict. In the conflict, all three brothers were killed. And the oldest brother's head was given as a presentation to the father. And this person crowned himself king. We will not take names. Jai Shri Ram, we are lighting the lamp. So, we will not take names, but this is a condition. We also have an icon. Okay, again, I'm not going to take the names. It is considered, I mean, the one of the pillars is named after the king. Even he killed all his brothers and crowned himself king. So here is Adrishtantam. Even when your interests are affected, I decide to stand by Dharma. And when you decide to stand by Dharma, comply with Dharma, understand life is not going to be easy. Because all of us human beings are born insecure. This insecurity continues. We look, and because of this insecurity, you are not acceptable to oneself. And I look for security among Artha Kama. Artha is money, wealth, Kama is pleasures. And when I have Kama, Artha, and Kama with me, I feel relatively better. To that extent, I feel acceptable to myself, but it doesn't last forever. And because Artha Kama gives me a level of security, I do not mind transgressing what is proper for getting my security. So dharma, an independent purushartha, there is an inclination to compromise on dharma. Okay, so here comes, as a human being, I have a choice. I have the inclination to transgress dharma. I am free to transgress dharma. But as a human being, I become a human being. I grow into being a human being when I exercise my choice not to transgress dharma. I am free to transgress karma. I am free enough to comply with dharma. I exercise the choice. And when I exercise the choice and I draw boundaries, things are going to be difficult. And that's what Purushottama Rama stands for. I'm going to comply with Dharma and I'm ready to face the challenges that arise. We'll come to a couple of, I'll not be following a chronological order, but I'll be following. Okay. Then Rama goes on exile. And when he goes on exile, he decides to walk. He is not taking the state's sponsored transport. When I go on exile, I don't take anything from the state. Rama takes only one thing with him, that is his dhanush and the arrows. Lakshmana also takes that. So carrying the dhanush and the arrows indicates one more thing. I take up all this to protect myself and those dependent upon me, but not for himsa. So ahimsa has to be properly understood. Ahimsa doesn't mean unconditional non-violence, which is badly the problem with India since the time someone waged a war and decided that it is very painful and therefore wind up the army. It is not unconditional non-violence. There is no violence here. There is no violence here. But there is a preparedness to defend my land, my property, my family, people dependent upon me if need be. It's very, very important. So the Dhanush stands for preparedness to fight for my rights. Dhanush. Why Dhanush? A Dhanush is a weapon. It is called a astra because you fire from that. It is an astra because the Dhanush doesn't come ready-made. Only the frame is given to you. So one must have strong bhuja and strong legs to hold down the Dhanush, bend it to the right extent, string it, and tests the tension. It requires puja and it requires pada, powerful legs. Hold down and pull it down. That's you tie your own dhanush. You stretch. And then, of course, you need speed, aim, concentration. Your aim is initially to deflect the arrows fired at you. Your aim is only to slow down and disarm the other person. Vadam is the last resort. That is the vad. You only disarm. Even after disarming, you give the person an opportunity. But thereafter, so the use of the arrow and the bow. He carries the bow and he moves. As he moves, he meets people. He makes the Nishada king. Who is the Nishada king? Okay, the translation will be tribals and peoples like that. And immediately bring into all the other problems that our Indian system has been fed for the last 150 years or so. Nishada king are people in the kingdom who have accepted Shri Rama as their king and live in their what do you call it, in their kingdom, tribal kingdoms and places like that, running that kingdom according to their laws. They take care of their own security. They don't pay tributes. They take care of themselves. It's an independent kingdom within a kingdom. The big kingdom protects in the form of, I am there for you, but doesn't place armies there and things like that unless asked for. If there is a war, or if there is some kind of a war, then you have to enter into an alliance for the purpose. When we do Mahabharata, we'll see all. Oh, Jai Shri Ram. So that's when we will see all that. So, what's a Nishada king? He follows a different lifestyle, different food habits, okay, different rules of governance, but overall within the protection of Sri Ramachandra Rama Rajya, and Rama and the Nishada king exchange. They are perhaps meeting for the first time. He was the prince to be crowned, but he was not crowned. They exchange and confirm their friendship. and bhakti from the Nishada king towards Rama. They confirm, reinforce their friendship. Rama moves further down. In one particular place, when he is resting, the conflict which started in Ayodhya, it follows. It says, so what do you follow here? Once you take a human birth, understand you will have mixed karma, mixed sukha, dukkha will follow you even if it is Sri Ram. There's a question, was Rama avatar, was he born normally or things like that? We'll look into it. That's not a main, okay. We take it that Rama was born. Born as a human being, he has to face the challenges of a human being. What are the challenges? Klesha there. Coming down in an area, he faces a further klesha. The further klesha is, at one point of time, Sita, the committed wife who served him totally, at one point of time, she gets a little distracted. Let's say a person who is committed even within Rama's company could be distracted by a golden hirana, Swarna hirana, meaning Artha Kama overcomes her for some time. And she tells Rama, why don't you go get this for me? Rama says, look, it is Maya. So think about it. She says, oh no, I want it. Rama says, okay, I'll go get it for you. And he goes. And when Rama goes, the Hiran turns out to be a Rakshasa called Keech. It turns out to be a Rakshasa. And when Rama aims and shoots at the deer, he shouts in Rama's voice. Because only Rama calls Sita as Site. Hey Site, hey Lakshmana. And Rama says, oh my God, my Lord is in trouble. Lakshmana, go. And when Lakshmana says, Mata, my Rama can never be in trouble. She says, no, you have to go. And she says something to Lakshmana. She says, you also are a conspirator like Bharata. Bharata conspirated through his mother. You are also a conspirator. You want Rama's kingdom. Lakshmana virtually breaks down. He says, oh Mata, what have you told me? He says, fine, I'll go. My brother told me to stay here, but I'll go. And he draws a Lakshman Rekha. He says, come what may, don't cross this Lakshman Rekha. And he leaves. A little few years, let's say few, like they show is on TVC, few days ago or few months ago, there was uh, a, a person called Surpanaka. Okay. Very often Surpanaka is seen as a person without a nose. Surpanaka word meaning does not have anything to do with it. It means she had got sharp nails. Nakha, Surpa, sharp nails. And looking at Rama, she was fascinated by it. That's when they describe Rama. A fascinating looking person. Shamba, not as dark as Krishna, but he still had sun-tanned Rama, golden locks, kavacha kundala, broad shoulders. And the distinctive feature of Rama was his compassionate eyes and long arms. Ajanu Bahu. Janu means knees. Ajanu, the hands reach almost below the knees. Absolutely handsome looking person. And Surpanaka approaches him. He says, this is my wife, and I am Eka Patni Vrata. I don't take, I have promised an oath to myself and to my wife that I'll have only one Patni. Then she goes to Lakshmana. Lakshmana also says, I am of the same oaths. Then she says, for this woman you are discarding me. So she tries to go and attack Sita. Lakshmana draws the sword to stop her. It says, he chopped off her nose and no, he just, to deter her, the sword was pulled out and she clashed against the sword and her breasts were cut. So she was maimed. She went back to Ravana, her brother, and told him that because of Sita, this what happened. And she described Sita's beauty. And so see, Ravan wanted to take revenge, one for Surpanaka and the other for Sita herself. So he comes in the guise of a sannyasi. That was the first ullanghan of dharma. Because the sannyasi, the dress itself invokes trust. Just the dress. The dress invokes trust. He wore the dress of a sannyasi and K approached Sita for alms. And the sannyasi is never refused. So she says, and he says, I am not supposed to come into the house to take. I am supposed to take it from outside the house. She says, I have been instructed not to cross this. He says, in that case, I go away without taking bhiksha. She says, thinks for a while. The trust aspect plays high in our mind, and she says, never mind. I will break this firewall, come out, and the consequences are she is abducted. Adharma goes on. A very powerful Raja, 10 heads. 10 heads stands for a very powerfully qualified person with a lot of skill. He was a sportsman, a big archer, a musician. He could even, he had friendship with Shiva. And that person abducts Sita and takes her. There's a weak old bird called Jatayu. Jatayu knows he has no chance whatsoever against Ravana. But he says, when a Nari is under trouble, I am not going to sit silent and watch. When adharma is happening in front of my eyes, I am not going to give excuse that I am weak and don't know, my job will go, things like that. He says, I am going to fight adharma. He fought and one of his wing was chopped off. He lived long enough to tell Rama that this person took her in a flying chariot and is going towards south. So, up to this point, integrity. And if you live a life of integrity within boundaries, there will be challenges, a preparedness to face challenges. More importantly, looking beautifully at a character called Jatayu, you don't give excuses to stand up against adharma. Don't say we are a weak community. We don't have the power to fight back. You should know how to fight back. At least write letters to the editor or put it in some kind of social media so that it can be sufficiently, it can get a lot of mileage. There is something called a court. There are people willing to fight for you. Somebody says, I won't let you do your Shri Ram Aradhana in your own country. Are you going to sit and watch? And then write in Facebook, what a situation. Jatayu was miles ahead of, and all are said to be educated. There can be an organized campaign, or at least in the you have to show. One woman has come down from somewhere and shown, I call your bluff, I'll do what you can. Jatayu stands for the capacity to stand against, not capacity. Whether I have physical capacity to have, I have the courage to stand against your adharma. One must learn to stand against adharma. Then Rama comes down. He comes to another king. Within his overall kingdom, he sees one more kingdom called Kishkinda. Now, Kishkinda is ruled by another set of beings. They are called Vanara. Vanara means they are neither humans nor animals. Let's say a certain tribal community following a different set of dharma totally. And one of their exile, and then there is a person who is in similar exile, a person called Sugriva. He is in exile. He comes and meets Rama, and they, mutual, that, what is it called? Sympathetic vibration. He says, I have been exiled, my wife is abducted. Sugriva says, I have been exiled and my wife is also abducted. My wife is abducted by my own brother. And Rama says, I'll stand by you. Challenge your brother for a war or a battle, and I'll support you. So they challenge, and the story goes that Rama killed Vali and restored the kingdom to Sugriva. I'm not going into Vali's dialogue with Rama, why did you kill me, and things like that. The only beautiful thing here is that I have given a word to someone, I'll stand. And he stood by it. And the Vali Vada has a lot of, there's a big story behind Vali Vada. I'm not actually going into that. But Vali only says to Rama only one thing. He says, do you know, Ravan is my friend. Not just a friend who I have subdued. If instead of going to this Sugriva, if you had told me, even before you had finished your narrative, I would have brought Sita back to you. Now, look at this scenario. And then, do you mean to say Rama did not know that Vali and Ravana were friends? Did he not know? Rama Raja. Rama is not just an ordinary king. Did he not know? He knew. But then, the queen is abducted. She is carried away. Ram has a choice to have taken any other queen from anywhere or go back to Ayodhya and get another queen. But he says no. For a person who I have committed to and whose commitment I have, I am willing to walk the entire length of India, cross the ocean if necessary, for her sake. So when everybody talks about Rama abandoning Sita, before going to that question, ask the question, if he had really wanted to abandon, he could have abandoned long back. He did not abandon. We look at that a little later. He did not abandon. He abandoned her. That's why even wives are suffering even today. People have all. I'll tell you what, this narrative which has somebody's character is glorious. Okay, you take one chapter out and you want to run him down. A narrative which is meant to hurt your own garva of Shri Rama. Your garva in Shri Rama is thought to be hurt. Deliberate. Suppose I am a good man, 90% good. I make one mistake. That is latched on to run me down and to destroy my image. So Sri Rama goes. He seeks the help of the Vanara army, and there he meets a Senapati of Sugriva called Hanuman. Hanuman was a seeker and he found his Rama. He didn't know he was seeking Rama, a Bhakta who found his Ekarupa Saguna Ishvara. And Rama found a Bhakta who would do anything for him. And in that Rama Bhakti, Hanuman discovered a lot of his siddhis. That's a beautiful story. And then he says, who will go and find out where Sita is? Hanuman's told, you can jump across the ocean and find. And Hanuman jumps across the ocean, finds Sita, and comes back and says, yes, I have seen. That comes the Sundarakanda portion. That is, in my bhakti of my Ishvara, I can jump across seas, climb mountains. Inspirational bhakti. And They come to the river, they come to the ocean, that part, that stretch, and there's a big debate. Was there a thing and things like that? We want to dredge it, run ship. No value for your sentiments. And then all of us like that, and we are not even like that, and willing and listening to what's there. A small squirrel carries some dust in its mouth to bind the bridges. Rama acknowledges with a pat on the back, and the squirrel Gilhari carries those 3 marks of Rama. Quite simple. When it comes to spiritual growth, don't ever say, I am too small, I am insignificant. The most insignificant small character's contribution is recognized by the Lord Himself. I was in the war and things like that. One, I'm not dwelling much on the war. I'm only on dwelling on that section where Rama is Rama is sufficiently, he's vanquished Ravan almost. And he tells him, go back. Bring Sita back honorably. I'll give you back. I'll go away. Before that, he has crowned Vibhishan king. Perhaps he knew that Ravan will never change. But there's a beautiful question there. Somebody said to have asked. It's not in the Tulsi Ramayana or Valmiki Ramayana. It is somebody supposed to have asked. It comes as a narrative. I'm not able to say exactly where it is. It says that somebody asked Rama, now look, tomorrow if he surrenders and brings Sita honorably back to you, you have already given the kingdom to Vibhishan. Will you take back and give it to Ravan? Rama is supposed to have said, Ravan, if he behaves properly, is fit to rule Ayodhya. I will give him Ayodhya. That's his capacity. But don't worry, he won't change. And then when that Vada takes place, he tells Lakshman, go learn from him. He is a scholar. So even when you vanquish an enemy, okay, because of certain wrongdoings, you don't judge the person, you judge only the wrong action and give him appropriate punishment for the wrong action. And for abduction, capital punishment. For burning down property, capital punishment. Yeah. So, capital punishment. He abducted Sita, so he deserved capital punishment. It was given unto him. They came back. Now, there's a lot of question. People say he put her through Agni Pariksha and things like that. Okay? Sita chose deliberately to violate the Lakshman Rekha. She has to suffer the consequence. Even if she is Sita, she has to suffer the consequences. So when you cross the firewall or bring down the firewall, the virus is you have to really do what is called, you call it not detoxification and then virus scan or whatever. Yeah, there are some people here, no, I have some people here, you have people here working in the software industry and things like that. I told a person, I will send you a, what do you call, a clip. Can you edit my songs out of the total clip of 2 hours? The person wrote back saying, sorry, my computer is an office computer. I am not allowed to download any other software other than my office software. There are some restrictions. And if you violate, what happens? You are severely penalized. See, there was a cricket team traveling from India to another country. They say you are not supposed to carry certain things. They carried, they were all fine. So when she has to come back into a proper infrastructure, she has to go through the pain. So then comes that section of Uttara Ramayana. It's in Uttara Ramayana when she's banished and things like that. It's Uttara Ramayana. It's an addendum. But a lot of people ask, was it proper? Was it proper? Okay, I have to ask only one question. Rama is a Purushottama, an integrated person, and who decides to stand by certain standards which he has set for himself. And when you decide to stand by those standards, you will have to go through pain. So he was separated from his wife. He never saw his sons. Finally, when he saw his sons, his wife had to permanently leave him. Even Rama has to go through pain. And if you and I have to decide to stand up for what is right, one has to be prepared to go through pain. People ask me, did he do right by sending Sita away? I said, I don't know. If it is wrong, Rama is suffering for it even today because you and I ask him questions. What kind of a man is he? I don't know. When he was giving, I said, what kind of a man is he? He sent his wife away. They forgot everything else. Even today, what happened in Treta Yuga, Rama is going through the throes of that pain even today. It's a lesson to you and me that you have to face the outcome wherever you are. Now, from these, what do we take? Rama stands for integrity. Stand straight. Challenges will come. Whether it is Rama or me or you, challenges will come. When you decide to stand up straight, you have to learn to face challenges. And when you are integrated, nothing happens to the world outside. The challenges will continue coming. My response to the challenges differs. And my response to the challenges makes me a hero. Not just for a few years, but for ages. Even today, the moment you say Shri Rama, you will have bhakti flowing out of you. Challenges, whether it is Rama or any avatara, challenges. Now let's go a little further. Why do we need a temple for that? There are 10 avatars of Mahavishnu. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna. Now, what's the ninth avatar? People will say Buddha, Balaram. Balarama cannot be an avatar of Mahavishnu. He's a Bhavata. He's a reincarnation of Adisesha. It's only in some texts that Balarama is called as an avatar. Some people say Buddha. Buddha what? Gautama the Buddha. Answer is in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, chapter 11. The ninth avatar is the Vishwarupa avatar. The Srishti as you encounter today, on your day-to-day life is the ninth avatar. In the ninth avatar, you have to discern Ishvara. Because what you see will be Maya, you have to discern Ishvara. So why do we need a temple? Ram avatar, Rama as an avatar, was available to the people pratyaksha in Treta Yuga. Now Ram avatar is no longer pratyaksha. Ram avatar is now paroksha. That's why the problem comes. What's the problem? I've heard about Rama, I have to see Rama. And somebody comes and tells you, I had pratyaksha, darshan of Shri Rama. The problem starts because then you will also want to have a pratyaksha darshana. Two of us cannot have possibly a pratyaksha darshana. It becomes pratibhasikam, subjective. We get into a lot of trouble. For you to appreciate Vishwarupa Ishvara, you need a certain alambanam. You need a certain pratima. And that pratima is Shri Ram Lalla. I can pour my emotions in this Rama. All of us being insecure are looking for some kind of crutches. Materialistic crutches, relationship crutches, ideological crutches, psychological crutches. We are all looking for crutches. That you have a crutch shows that you are not independent. Ek Rupa, Saguna, Ram avatar tells you you don't need crutch. You don't need you need a crutch here. When you hold Rama, you don't need, this is not called a crutch. It's called a support to the ultimate source. And for me, an ordinary vulnerable person, it is not possible to imagine and relate to a Vishwarupa Ishvara. So I start my Upasana with an Eka Rupa, Saguna Rupa Ishvara, Shri Rama. All his qualities are something that impresses me: integrity, compassion, preparedness to fight where it is required. All these stand for me. And let's go a little finer. Okay? All life forms have some kind of survival technique inbuilt. For example, a monkey learns to hold on to its mother when the mother jumps from branch to branch. The monkey knows enough that if it lets go, its finishes ends up in kingdom come. There's an animal called giraffe. It falls from a height of about 5.5, 6 feet. The mother giraffe kicks the foal till the foal learns to run, because the foal must learn to run to survive. All mechanism, including earthworms and lizards, have survival mechanisms. Now, what's your and mine survival mechanism? You can't even scratch yourself. When you wet yourself, somebody has to come and clean. The human being's survival mechanism is trust. Mata, instinctive trust in the Mata. The mother voice, breathing sound is enough trust for you. And the mother indicates that this person is your father. Trust in the mother's word. You never asked for a DNA test, did you? The father was accepted. The father leads you to the guru. And mother, father, guru, all of them are human beings. At some point of time, they will go away. My guru went away from my life just about a month ago. There is a vacuum. You will be always left in a vacuum when the physical form goes away. Who's the only form which can take care of your emotional longing for a permanent relationship? Eka Rupa, Saguna Rupa, Ishvara. And that's why I said it can be an academic thing for you. Ram Avatar can be an academic thing for you. You can also make it real. It is an academic if it's a contact. If it is real, it's a connection. When you make a connection, it is real. You pour your heart out to Rama. You pour your struggles to Rama. Okay? Rama stands for Ramayati. He is Atmani Eva Atmana Tushtaha. He is self-effulgent, radiant in himself, taking a recourse to the self-evident, radiant alambanam for me. It rubs on me. I have a permanent source of solace, which helps, gives me enough space here to handle my daily challenges. When there is objectivity, there is expansion. I expand from Ekarupa Saguna Rama, to whom I pour my Arti Artharthi Bhakta, discover the Vishwarupa Ishvara, and I ask the question, what is all this? Jigyasu Bhakta. The answer comes from the Guru. I am a Jnani Bhakta. So why Ayodhya? Ayodhya, Mathura, Kashi, Dwaraka, Ujjaini, Rameshwaram, and one more place, Sri Rangam. They are all called Moksha Kshetras. That means these places are conducive for finding gurus. It doesn't mean that you go die there, you will get moksha. There are a lot of people congregating there. You have a satsanga oriented atmosphere. you get people who will teach you. Ayodhya is one such place. India and Indians as a Bharatavasi, my Asta has been, what has been my Asta? I have lots to say if I am a Tamilian or I am from Andhra or if I am from this part of the country. But what have I got to say when I am a Bharatavasi? Do I have an alambanam to hold on? Do I have something to be proud of? When Rama appeared in Treta Yuga, there was a transformation. What transformation? Dushta Nigraha, Sishta Paripalana took place. 498 years later, when Shri Rama's manifestation, it is called Prana Pratishtha because you and I know that what is there is only a Vigraha. But hereafter, having done Prana Pratishtha, it is no longer a Vigraha for me, it is Shri Rama for me, and that place is an abode of Rama for me. Inspiration for me to live a life, to transform my response to the world. It is not a sign of aggression. It is a sign of self-confidence, self-assertion. I don't want to tell you, I'm not going to make puff up and fire. No, I'm not itching for a fire. I'm not spoiling for a fire. I'm just standing up for what is. I am a Jatayu. I'm trying to stand up for what is right. That is Shri Ram Mahima. That's what I thought I'll share with you. We are in chapter 10 now. In 10, we will be seeing Ishwara's Vibhuti, glory of Ishwara. And when we go to chapter 11, we will see Vishwarupa Ishwara. 12, we will see Bhakti Upasana. And when we see Bhakti Upasana, we will see Ekarupa Upasana, we will do Saguna Ishwara Upasana. Then go to Vishwarupa Upasana, Nirguna Upasana, Atma Upasana. That's growth. Spiritual growth is initial. We'll see all. So on this day, 22nd of January 2024, 498, 6 years, okay, after we have consecrated the Ayodhya temple. Ayodhya is not a political jingoistic statement for me. It is my astha, the foundation on which my Vaidika parampara stands. It lifts me up in garva. Let's not waste time in nitpicking on whether Rama did this. There'll be a huge debate on whether Rama did the right thing by killing Vali. It doesn't make sense. It is called, it is called Jalpam. It is not even a debate. You say what you want, I say what you want, both of us collect prices and go. Senseless debate, waste of energy. Did Rama do this right? Waste of time. You use your intellectual faculties and emotional faculties to grow into a Jigyasu Bhakta. So Rama Mahima continues. Shri Rama recites. आंखों में, कंठ में, हृदय में बसे Shri Ram. Open your eyes to Shri Rama. Let the first words in the morning be Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram. Let every work that you do be preceded by the word Shri Ram. Offer Ishvara Arpana and Ishvara Prasada. May we discover the Jigyasu in us. Have a wonderful week. We will resume our Bhagavad Gita session again next week. Monday, we will continue with chapter. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनीं देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हो। स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो। बजरंग बली की जय हो। We'll meet again next week. Om.
हम्म।